Hello and welcome back to the PLP. It's a pretty big day, not because of the game staring you in the face right now. That should be a formality for Louis. But we have 4 NLP games to complement Louis' trip to the Hawthorns or whatever West Brom B play at. Because it could be the day that Marshy secures the National League Prem title. Oh, there you go. Trip to Aston Villa D should see him home. And we're going straight there. Nice and helpful. It's only Gianluca Vialli that stands in the way, and under pressure Gianluca Vialli I saw the other day. Insecure managerial position. Definitely not the case for Jose Mourinho, who has overseen a pretty seamless and calm ascent back up to League 2 and 12 points ahead. The teams behind him can only get a maximum of 12. He just needs a point to see him over the line. And you wouldn't bet against him doing it the first time of asking. That's a pretty decent start. Van Nistelrooy's 13th goal of the season, which sounds quite modest, but not bad considering he's been out for probably 80% of the season. Is that a red card? Oh, Cyril! Oh, I was looking forward to seeing Cyril Regis. He's blessed me with his presence for all of 13 minutes. I wonder if he'll be allowed back out to do a guard of honour for Marshy and his lads. Of course, dear Robert was in action 3 days ago as well in the FA Trophy semi-finals, which he navigated equally proficiently. So he's not only got a promotion pretty much under his belt now, but a nice trip to Wembley to look forward to on finals day as well in the summer. All in all, couldn't have asked for much more this season, to be honest. Excuse me. As I mentioned in those Saturday games, he's in a pretty uniquely strong position coming up from the NLP next season, because he'll still be ranked 23rd amongst all of the drafters, and yet he's already got a pretty decent team and the momentum of a promotion, and yet he'll have quite a favourable selection of draft picks if he decides to get involved in the draft. A quick scan to see how many players he needs to get rid of in order to draft. Just while Marcus Hallbeck pulls a goal back. So yeah, actually he's got a pretty hefty squad. He's got 33 players that are either drafted, acquired or collected through the random round. He has to get down to 25 at least anyway. Anything beyond that gives him draft scope. Yeah, if he wants to have a really decent fist at drafting, then he's going to have to get rid of about 13 players. Looking through his squad immediately, I'd say the likes of Soyuncu, Semedo, maybe Gibbs White, Gilmore, Ugarte. Chris Marston's definitely on his way, bless him. Maybe Xerxes, possibly Boxic, even though he only got him in January. Seemed like a bit of a 6-month stint when he signed him. But to reach 13 and have a proper attack at the draft seems a bit much, maybe. And again, he's also got quite an ageing squad in places, especially that midfield. Looking at a 33-year-old, going on 34-year-old Edgar Davids, 33 Schweinsteiger. Djorkaev's actually retiring, so that's one person gone. You're down to 10 each. No, Edgar. It might be one of your last games for the club. Mendietta's 31. Paul Parker potentially. What's happened here? We've been busy chatting about Marshy's plans for next season in League 2. We're on the cusp of it being delayed by an extra few days. Lee Croft winning a header at any time of any season of any game is pretty unlikely. Marshy's now got 25 minutes to hold on to this lead. Well, I say this lead, this title claim. I always joke that he can only ever win by one goal. He's gone to extra efforts just to win by one goal if he snatches a winner here. Oh, what a hit. Did he save that? What a save from Olsen. Tackle's still flying in. 5 yellow cards, 2 reds, and 10 minutes away from the NLP title if he can now hold on. Johnny Otto, probably another one for the cult. Doesn't look to be any late drama. I'd say he's crawled over the line. I mean, he's crawled over the line with 4 games to spare. It's a draw today, but a well-earned title for Marshy. Well done, mate. See you back in League 2 next season. There are now 3 more NLP games to go through today, all of which have a good bearing, or an important bearing on the playoff positions. So we're pretty sure now that LuTom, NottinGiant Forest, and otbCraig, who we're seeing today, will all at least make the playoffs. No, they will just make the playoffs, sorry. Along with Liverpool, who aren't in action today. But there is a slight importance to finishing second and third, because you remove one of the playoff rounds you will have to face. So that's the best that these guys can hope for now. Talking the other day about the length that Tom Necruz went through to get Kolo Touré in over the January period. I don't think he's played. I don't know if he's injured or unregistered or just not fancied. I think Tom's thinking what everyone else is. Kolo definitely would have blocked that shot. I don't think many non-Newcastle fans will remember much about Remy Cabella, but he definitely didn't do that in a Newcastle shirt. This is likely to be Mikel Merino's final few games for Newcastle in the summer changes list for the summer. He's now pivoted into Arsenal territory. Definitely had a lot more appearances in a red shirt than black and white now. I think he's just finished his 3rd season with the Gunners. So unless anyone drafts him, which, you know, I might do, big fan, but more likely he'll be hovering around sort of Arsenal C or Arsenal D territory next season. Just realised who it was that didn't block the shot. It's beloved Tom Lockyer. Tom's absolute favourite footballer, keeping Kolo out of the team. He's been in really good form recently, to be fair, but this would be a backward step, considering all 4 of the teams today are playing non-draft opposition. You'd think that otbCraig and NottinGiant Forest would win their games. To lose a home match against non-draft would be bad, and it's Mitrovic doing favours for the black and whites. as he so rarely did when actually in black and white. And another one of there. There he is. Third time of asking. 5th goal of the season. Not played as much as I thought he would. It's a really good draft pickup, I thought. He played pretty well for Dan City. Why last year in League 2? Let go by Dan. Picked up by Tom. But he's not been called upon too frequently. Lots of Rosler and Alvarez, to be fair, keeping him out. I think that's fair. Can he get a much needed winner in the next 10 minutes? He's not even really outplayed Newcastle D. John Dahl Thomason leading the line. Again, like he never did in real life. For us, anyway. Can Tom snatch it? Silva and Marvo. God, we've had some shit over the years. That's pretty shit right now. If you're a LuTom fan. All out attack. A lot of possession. Not a lot else. Certainly not a good result. For the second time in 3 days, it's NottinGiant Forest up against Fulham C. Tony Voa put the away team to the sword in the FA Trophy semi-finals the other day. Kept his place ahead of, I think, Vialli. Partnering Morientes this time. It was Brian Roy up front with him the other day. Had more than enough to see him over the line. I think it was 4-1 in the end. And actually I spoke at length about how ridiculous it was that Niakate kept playing and captaining the team ahead of Lewis Dunk. He's actually Dunk in today, albeit really randomly alongside, I'm going to say his name wrong, Omanabadeli. Apologies there to all Norwich/Irish fans. Not entirely sure why he's there. Has he been at Forest before? Omabamadeli. Turns out he's still a Forest player. Is he? He's just on loan at Strasbourg at the moment. His entire Premier League existence has actually come at the City ground. Who knew? Definitely an inherited player that I'm sure Craig could do without seeing in his first 11. Seeing what other centre-back options he could have had. I know Keith Curl played the other day. Fabian Schär's not getting a look in, which is sacrilege. But then actually beyond that, it is mostly inherited players. So it's Joe Worrell, the famous Niakate, captain, penalty taker, undroppable extraordinaire. What on earth? And Barbie, who had a shocker in the FA Trophies, giving the away team the lead. But yeah, Marato, Scott McKenna, Felipe, and then Mr. Andrew Omabamadeli are actually the options. Might be something to look at in the summer for Mr. Daniels. It turns out this team without their beloved captain in looks a bit shaky. Very shaky. As things stand, this could be a massive reprieve for LuTom and really open the door to Craig Crutchell's game, the otbCraig matchup coming up soon. A win there would really cement his place in the top 2 or 3. And it's only about 4 more match days of NLP action coming up before the season comes to an end, the main season. Who's coming at our side? I've got Flamini and Brian Roy to try and salvage this game. It's not been great so far. Sure, with the playoffs already cemented, Craig would have rather won on Saturday if he had to choose between the two. Nice trip to Wembley to look forward to over the summer. He's been in great form in the league, so this would be a random one. Lifeline from Leon Bailey, who I'm pretty sure scored at the weekend as well. Daryl Such, who scored an absolute screamer. Former Norwich legend, back on to do some more damage potentially. Immediately dragged off, as is often the way on FM. He's now got an injured Mohamed on. Surely he's got a centre-back lingering there, somewhere on the bench. Stick Emmanuel away there at this point. Could have been 3. Hideyoshi, one of my favourite draft picks of last summer. I'm glad he's got some action in this project. He's been pretty decent, as you'd expect. Don't know if many people remember him. He was an older LMA manager legend. Absolute must sign at centre mid. Back when Palmer were a force. Can Craig go one better than Tom? Done it the hard way. Lacazette again. Oh, what a player. Usually if I'm singing someone's praises, they go and break someone's leg or score an own goal the next second. Nice to reverse the curse for a change. And with a Daryl Such assist. Love to see it. Nice assist from Mohamed potentially as well. That had counted. What do I know? But this is another decent win for Craig. Keeps him right in the mix for those bye places in the playoffs. Morientes, another fantastic draft pick from the last summer. 21 goals. Him and Vialli have been pretty potent as the main sort of two, but the likes of Brian Roy and Tony Yeboah, Dion Dublin, all options as well. He's not been short of goals. It's just that maybe that defence that needs rectifying, no matter which division he's playing in next season, sorry. So now, comes to this one. otbCraig. For so long, looked like they were going to get promoted. Don't know why they would just skip through, not even seeing the league table there. No intros needed, apparently. Carrow Road running on a meter, apparently, or wherever they're playing. Don't normally show these kinds of games because we're up against one of the extra teams. They're not really part of the pyramid. It's a Middlesbrough 2024 team. So it's basically where I stuck all the existing Middlesbrough players that hadn't played in the Premier League before, and then that club helped. Those kind of clubs helped to populate the Panorama North and South leagues. Obviously, in the first season, they got promoted from the North. And to be fair, quite a few of those teams have now started to sign players from the main database, if that makes sense. Not sure if there's any here. Vandenberg, for instance, yeah, he's a Brentford player in the database that they've obviously got hold of either on loan or permanently. Yeah, what I was going to talk through, if the game had shown the league table, not entirely sure why they didn't. We'll come back to it later. It's just how pretty Craig will be sitting if he can secure these 3 points. That LuTom result did really help him. And while I'm sure for a long time he looked dead set on the title, really. He went the first 23 games unbeaten before completely unravelling. But if he can re-find any of that form, he'll be the team to beat in a couple of months' time. Nice and seamless so far. Not a single shot on target given up. And a bit more of a familiar lineup, to be honest. The injuries to Callum Wilson and Carlton Palmer were very correlated to that drop in form. One player that was immense for the first half of the season that's fallen off the face of the earth is Vladimir Smicha. Seems to be either Alano or Buendia playing in that 10 role now. But Smicha was so good in the first 3 or 4 months. I'm not entirely sure why he's been unceremoniously dropped by Sven. Thinking about that manager potential merry-go-round over the summer. Obviously, I'm losing Sir Bobby. It seems another manager heading for a sacking is, well, certainly David Moyes. I'd be surprised if Liam keeps him on after his 6-month trial period has ended pretty poorly. Another manager on the chopping block seems to be Pellegrini. Jazz's patience running out there. Keeps rotating. Henry is the main issue. But again, as Jazz said the other day, basically chopped and changed his entire back four, Letitia and Henry, and then lost to Dan City Cal and potentially put him out of the playoff race. So I think that's Pellegrini done if anyone's thinking of a Chilean upgrade over the summer. Not a single shot given up. Love to see it. We don't want to give any airtime to these 24 teams. Just a must to create the pyramid, unfortunately. One more game and we're heading up a division. It's made me skip through it again. Weird glitch in the matrix today, apologies for that. Louis has been another player that's been quite vocal on the chat recently, vomiting and retching at the thought of playing Sunday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday for the foreseeable. I mean, there are literally no days off, and if he goes any further in the Conference League, he's going to have to send half the team to Transylvania or wherever he's playing, and the next one to the Midlands. Hire a second manager. What a goal! Morgan Amalfitano, first goal of the season. That is classic FM. Someone who's done nothing all year, scoring an absolute worldie as soon as you're watching him. Send Trippier inside out. Oh, that's so good. Is that a red card? That's going to help him. Poor Amalfitano sacrificed for Ronnie Woolwork of all people. We could do with a few of his games being against 10 or fewer. Aguero, again, picked in the lineup and getting snapped by Yokushlu, but also scoring his 17th of the season. Let him score his 18th and then drag him off. Give him a break. At least it's a home game this Thursday in the Conference League. Lille come into town. First series opponent, realistically. I don't really think Louis is going to care if he goes out. The smart money is that he'll go a lot further. And at that point, I'm already now, the League 2 season is supposed to finish on, I think it's the Saturday the 25th, I think it is. There he is, 18th goal, get him off. And already there, the game is allocating games for the Monday afterwards. The 27th, I think already Wyman's having to play on that day, I think I am. Simply not enough days to accommodate League 2 teams that are also having a jolly around Europe. To be fair, it's quite rare, I'd have thought. Patrick, now get him off. Stop, don't do river dance, just barely move as it is. Aguero celebrating the fact that his hamstrings are barely put together with gaffer tape. Doing some sort of Irish folk jig. After the brief radio silence. Comings and goings at the door. And we've come back. And Louis, home and host. So now the smart thing to do, obviously, for De Zerbi would be to start resting some of his bigger names. That ridiculous schedule to come. Ruben Neves, Sven Botman and Samir Nasri wouldn't be top of my list to give that rest to, and Ghana Gay immediately gets injured a few seconds later. It's Aguero though. He's been starting most games at 50% fitness. No doubt he'll be picked again on Thursday. Personally, I'd be loving to see people like Huckabee and Noel Whelan and Peter Unlove. After this game, we'll go through the League 2 and NLP tables. And then also, something I keep meaning to do, considering I send it to the group separately, but we could just add it on here, is look at the teams of the week within the highlights. Always nice to see what players up and down the pyramid are getting up to. how many of them are still where they started off as well. Obviously, a lot of the teams have now been infiltrated by signings from across the continent and obviously amongst each other within the pyramid as well. Oh, Aguero's still going, leading the press, 92 minutes in. But ultimately, Louis' claim for those automatic spots getting stronger and stronger with each passing game. We'll start off by looking at the League Two table quickly. You can see there with Louis now in a really, really strong position. Still got 2 games in hand on Dauncey and could actually reel him in. 3 points clear of the Red Wall, who now look like his biggest challengers for that final automatic spot. Warringham, who for so long looked like the team in the driving seat, now looking to have to settle for the playoffs. West Brom B still hovering down the bottom, but we'll be seeing them again next season, as it looks like. National League Prem, otbCraig, 4 points clear now of NottinGiant Forest, who themselves have set themselves apart from Gore Liverpool and LuTom, who might go on to lament that draw today, now hovering in 5th. But yeah, you can see otbCraig looking likely to get that bye-week position, and then anyone's guess as to who gets the other one amongst the 3. And while we're here, let's have a look at the teams of the week within the highlights. Up to the 7th of April. So in the Premier League, we've got the likes of Serge Aurier, Ki Sung-young, Abdullah Decore, Jack Harrison, David Hurst, one for the 90s, Kevin Doyle. Player of the week, who's that? Zeno DeBast. Definitely not part of this database. Down to the Championship. Mark Poo, I think actually was active with Marshyside last year. Trevor Chalobah, obviously still playing. Ahmed El Mohammadi's moved over to Spurs B, but playing well with Gavin Peacock, Jeff Whitley, Johan Wisser. I wish he'd start doing things for Newcastle, but decent for Brentford on this. Francisco Baiano and Graziano Pele with a very exotic strike force. Player of the week, typically Killian Fisher, who I'm pretty sure plays for Norwich in real life and definitely is not part of this database. Down to League 1. There's no team of the week because they haven't played for what seems like months now. League 2, Julio Cesar with Dan City Cal, Lawrence Scott, Pedro Porro, Dan City Y, who obviously struggling this season but got Gay and Morata to thank for a decent upturn in form recently. Pau Torres for Louis, Overmars for Bustin, Arteta for Robinho for Chesh, Emil Smith-Rowe scored an absolute corker a couple of days ago. Ollie Johnson, who scored his first 3 goals of the season all in the same game. He only got narrowly pipped by Mark Overmars for Player of the Week. Finally, National League Pro Team of the Week. Just moved to Spurs. Interesting manoeuvre, that one. Connor Robertson, Jordan Bayer, both Burnley players of late. Yapstam, the only Marshyside player in there, Matthias Nunes and Amadou Onana, carry good form into today's game, which makes that result a little more frustrating. Ball over ball represented by Timo Werner, and then Brady Diangana and Wesley Moraes for Aston Villa D. So yeah, nice little addition when we get a chance to do these Tuesday highlights each week. Moving into the next few days, we've got League 2 actually then tomorrow, alongside some Champions League and Europa League scores. Thursday, he's back in action in the Conference League, we'll do the score from that. Friday, NLP time again, and then Saturday is League 1 for the first time in ages, as well as some League 2 action as well. My voice is going, so I'll leave it there. So, yeah.